Good morning, girls. Today's lesson is chapter 8, lesson 7, and the title is Solving Quadratic Equations by Using Square Roots. Now, quadratic equations, you already know that it's an equation that has like x power 2. It has a power 2, okay? And square roots are, I will remind you what is it. But first, let's solve a quadratic equation by factoring. Which I mean, like, let's remember a previous lesson. If I have, this is a quadratic equation, for example, x power 2 equals 16, and I want to solve it by factoring, which is lesson 8.6, then I would take this to this side, and it would be x power 2 minus 16 equals 0. And then I would say that this 16 is 4 power 2. And this is difference of two squares method. I would put the first minus the second, and then the first plus the second. I hope you remember this way of factoring. This will give me x equal 4, and this will give me x equal negative 4. And this is how we used to solve it by the previous way. Now we will solve it by another way, which is the square root. Just to remind you what is a square root, it's the radical sign. For example, if you have 16, or let's say 4 power 2, and I've put the square root, this is a square root sign, then if you remember, we said we will imagine there is an invisible 2 here. The 2 and 2 will cancel each other, and it will be 4. If you have, for example, the square root of 10 power 2, so 2 and 2 will cancel each other, and the answer will be 10. You take the number out, okay? If you have, for example, square root of 36, so 36, you know, it's 6 power 2, and you have a power 2 here, so you cancel them and you put the 6 outside. So this is the job of square root. It cancels the power 2. Okay, so how we're going to solve this one using this way? I will put the equation again. It's x power 2 equals 16. Now to solve an equation means that I need to find x, the value of x, the way I did here. So to find x, I need to find x, so I need mainly to get rid of the power 2. And now you remember that the thing that will let me get rid of power 2 is the square root sign. So you would put the square root over here and the square root sign over here. Whatever you do on this side, you should do on the other side. Now here I have power 2, and as we said, we will imagine there is a power 2 here. They cancel each other, and you only have x. Here, 16, you know, it's 4 power 2. So you will cancel both, and x will be equal to 4. Okay? Now, this is kind of strange because when I used this method, I got 2 answers. While I used this method, I got only 1 answer, which is, it shouldn't be like that, because even if I use 2 different methods, I should end up with the same answer. So here, there is a missing answer. We need to find it out. First, let's check if this is correct. Okay, so I will check if my answer is correct. I have x equal 4. So I will go to the original equation. It's x power 2 equals 16, right? And I need to know if it's correct for x equal 4 for my answer. So instead of x, you substitute x by 4. Now 4 power 2, is it equal to 16? Yes, it is. But let's try x equal, let's try the same, with the same equation, but x equal negative 4. So instead of x, you should replace x by negative 4. Is it equal to 16? Let's see. Negative 4 power 2 is negative 4 times negative 4. And I'm also checking if it's equal to 16. You know that negative times negative is positive, and 4 times 4 is 16. So is 16 equal to 16? Yes. So actually, not only x equal 4 is the answer, is a solution, also x equal negative 4 is a solution. So now, whenever you solve a quadratic equation using square root, whenever you find the positive answer, you also mention the negative answer. For example, what do I mean? If you have x power 2 equal 25, you will put the square root here and the square root sign here. This will give you x, and this, you know that it's square root of 5 power 2, so it will give you 5, because 2 and this will cancel each other. Now, you don't say the solution is x equal 5, it's positive 5 and negative 5. X can be 5 and x can be negative 5. Let's try one more. If I have x power 2 equal 100, so you put square root, here it will give me x. Here, you should know that 100 is 10 power 2. So they will cancel each other, and x will be positive 10 and negative 10. It will have two answers. One more thing about this example. This is example 1, by the way. What if I have x power 2 equal, for example, negative 16? Not positive, negative. Now this one is impossible. It's impossible. Why? Because anything to the power of 2 is positive. For example, if you have negative 3 to the power of 2, you know it's negative 3 times negative 3. Negative and negative is positive 9. 3 times 3 is 9. If you have negative 2 power 2, it will be negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4. Any number, negative 9 power 2, it will be negative 9 times negative 9, which is positive 81. 9 times 9 is 81. And so on. Anything to the power of 2, actually anything to the power of an even power, like 2, 4, 6, 8, it will end up to be positive. Okay? So here, x power 2 is always positive. Anything to the power of 2 is always positive. I'm saying that x power 2, which is positive number, is equal to negative 16, which is negative number. Now, how come in math a positive number is equal to a negative number? It's impossible. It will never happen. So this is wrong. This is not correct. So what you say is impossible, or you can say no solution. Okay? This was example 1.